Hi everyone, how's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing wonderfully. Today we're going to talk about array formula. And it is, the best way I can describe it is basically that it injects a formula. It's a function that injects formula into every cell of an array. Now, just to give you an example, as I mentioned in one of my previous videos about mmult, mmult is basically a multiplier, a matrix multiplier that you can use to just, this is what we used here in this particular example to calculate all the sums here in one shot. So you can imagine that if you have something like where you need to calculate, like for example, sales commission based on a particular threshold, like say in this case I'm going to do $450. So if somebody makes $450 and they make a certain amount of commission based on those sales. So when you're talking about something like that, you would honestly think that something like an if statement would satisfy it, but let's take a look and let me show you what I mean. So in this case, if we're going to anchor this, if these numbers equal, or at least are greater than or equal to $450, this is my threshold for this. So greater than or equal to $450. Then we're going to have a bonus of $150. Otherwise, it'll be 0, right? So what we're seeing here is that it's already going to come up with an error message. Why? Because really an if statement, while valuable, only works on one cell at a time, right? So in this case, this is where you would need something that would go into each cell, and that's where array formula comes in. So the best way to actually use array formula is, there are 3 different ways, depending on your device and then depending on just what you feel like doing. So I'm on a PC, so my array formula keystrokes are Control, Shift, Enter. And there it goes. The array formula automatically goes in. If you are on a Mac, it is Command, Shift, Enter. And then, of course, the third option is you can just write it in. I've done it plenty of times. It's just what I'm used to. So in this case, what we're going to see is we're going to see that the array formula is going to take that if statement, and it's going to go in every one of these cells and come up with either a 150 or a 0. Now let's take a look. And there you have it. Just one keystroke, and all you need to do is make sure, you know, that you put in the, if you're doing sales commission and you're trying to do an if statement, make sure that you don't encapsulate the 150 in quotation marks, because that converts it into a string. And then it becomes really tough, because then you have to do like a $2 and then it becomes really unnecessarily complicated. So what you want to do if you're dealing with numbers, just make sure that you're not putting them in the form of a string. All right? So now with this, if I need to find out how much money Frank, Isabel, Sam, Irene, and Terrence make, all I need to do is put in a simple sum function. So in this case, we're going to go into equals sum, and we're going to go, what, B12 to M12, right? So we're going to get, it's going to autofill for us. Awesome. And of course we see that Terrence is doing pretty well. Maybe he might even get an extra for that. We don't know. But again, array formula is all about just injecting the formulas across a bunch of different cells and just getting everything done at once. It's very convenient, and whenever we're going into some advanced regular expressions, We're actually going to see it when we do query. When you do queries, you're going to be able to use array formulas as well. And even something like this, and this is another thing about query, is that something like this can actually be done, all of this can be done in one formula. So while I did two formulas where I did the array formula to get the commissions, and then I tabulated the sum of the commissions here, with query, I could do that with one formula. So it's like it's like you're basically making your life a lot easier as long as you learn how to manipulate those different functions within Google Sheets. And even when you're applying them with mmult or sumif or countif or any other, there are quite a few functions that work well with both regular expressions, regex match, regex replace, and regex extract, and the query function. And I feel like when you guys see this, it's going to be, you're going to be, I mean, I remember when I saw it, I was mind blown. I'm like, I could have done this a lot easier. So just to give you a quick recap of what array formula is all about and how it could possibly work with some other functions, including mmult. Later on, we'll see that. And that's pretty much it for this video. Any questions or comments, of course, leave them down below. And if you've actually found another way, if you've used array formula, let me know. Love to hear from you and see how you feel about it. All right. Hope everybody's having a good day, and I'll see you in the next video.